Many times people in life really want much more than what they're willing to give in exchange for it. What are you willing to give in exchange for the true desires of your heart? I'm going to talk about a divine principle on tonight that has been around for centuries, and it really does work. I'm Tyrone Bowman. This is Tyrone Bowman Tonight. The topic of discussion is entitled Above and Beyond the Habit of Going the Extra Mile. Above and beyond the habit of going the extra mile. In my observations of men and women in their occupations and the things that they do in life on a daily basis, I have observed that most individuals are individuals who are constantly complaining about everything, everyone, and everybody. They complain about the lack of money. They complain about not having great benefits. They complain about the place that they work for. But the one thing that I never hear them say, that I'm willing to go above and beyond in order to get what I desire to be, to do, and to have. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You can be, do, and have whatever you set your mind and heart to do and to achieve during the course of your lifetime. You don't have to settle for less. You don't have to settle for lack. That is a choice. It doesn't matter how we were born into certain circumstances and situations. It doesn't matter how you start the race. What matters is how you finish the race. As an inspirational, motivational teacher, it is my chief aim, goal, and desire to inspire and to motivate men and women to start living your best life now. Start achieving that which you desire to be, to do, and to have. Health, happiness, success, prosperity, love, joy, money. It takes work if you're going to achieve it. It's not just going to happen. This is part one of a two-part teaching, once again entitled Above and Beyond. So let's get started. Where did this divine principle first come from? I've heard many individuals expound upon it, espouse their own thoughts or what they think it means. And really, a lot of their thoughts and conclusions, ideologically, they're good and they're wonderful. But it all started with one individual. It started with a teacher, the master teacher, pardon me. I gotta fix my jacket's irritating me. It started with the master teacher, a rabbi. And he was telling his converts what to do in order to achieve. As written in the Gospel according to Matthew, the 5th chapter, just one verse, the 42nd verse says, and I'm going to read, and I quote, pardon me, the 41st verse reads, and I quote, "And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain," close quote. Another translation reads, the 5th chapter of the Gospel according to Matthew, the 41st verse. I'm just somewhat anxious about teaching this. That's why you hear me kind of being all over the place, but I'll get it under control. And I quote, "And if someone in authority compels you into service for a mile, go with him 2 miles." What exactly does this mean? What does this principle mean? And why is it that individuals are oftentimes required to go above and beyond in order to achieve the success, in order to achieve the things that make life worth living, in order to have the best that this world has to offer? Well, it's a divine principle. That's why it's a divine law. And what does it mean to go the extra mile? According to the Google Dictionary, what does Jesus mean by going the second mile? A deed of charity or kindness beyond the demands of duty, used chiefly in the phrase go the second mile, employee benefits, which go the second mile in human relations of this type. This verse is the origin of the English phrase going the extra mile, which means to do more than is needed. That's powerful. So why would individuals like to do more than what is needed when it feels and seems like they've already done enough? If you're going to achieve success, if your dreams, plans, and purposes in life are going to be fulfilled, if you're going to rise above and beyond the scope of the norm, you're going to have to go the extra mile. Why? Because that is why it is designed. An important principle of success in all walks of life and in all occupations is a willingness to go the extra mile, which means the rendering of more and better service than that for which one is paid, and giving it in a positive mental attitude. Many times, a lot of individuals are doing things, but their attitude behind it is terrible. It is consisting of a negative mental attitude instead of a positive mental attitude. Search wherever you will for a single sound argument against this principle, and you will not find it, nor will you find a single instance of enduring success which was not attained in part by its application. The principle is not the creation of man. It is a part of nature's handiwork, for it is obvious that every living creature below the intelligence of man is forced to apply the principle in order to survive. Man may disregard the principle if he chooses, but he cannot do so and at the same time enjoy the fruits of enduring success. Observe how nature applies this principle in the production of food that grows from the soil, where the farmer is forced to go the extra mile by clearing the land, plowing it, and planting the seed at the right time of the year, for none of which he receives any pay in advance. And that is true, because if the farmer does not do these things, the farmer will not survive. And agricultural farming, it is the backbone of industry that supplies the aggregate of food that millions upon millions of people around the world depend upon. Without the agricultural aspect of life, and make no mistake about it, we cannot survive. Observe how nature applies this principle in the production of food that grows from the soil. I repeat that again. But observe that if he does his work in harmony with nature's laws and performs the necessary amount of labor, nature takes over the job, and where the farmer labor ends, germinates the seed he plants and develops it into a crop of food. That's according to chapter 5 of the book entitled Think and Grow Rich, The Habit of Going the Extra Mile. Get a copy of the book and study it for yourself. And observe thoroughly this significant fact. For every grain of wheat or corn he plants in the soil, nature yields him perhaps 100 grains, thus enabling him to benefit by the law of increasing returns. If you desire to rise above your status in life, study the lives of great men and women. Study the lives of individuals who you seem to be a hero or heroine to you. Study the lives of individuals who may have mentored you. And you will find out that they had to go above and beyond the call of duty in order to succeed. Too many individuals want a lot of things, but they're willing to give very little in return. There's nothing in this world that is going to work unless you are willing to work it. Dreams, goals, plans, purposes only translate into success by doing the hard work. And it may seem like it's unappreciative. It may seem like you're overlooked, underpaid, but you're not. In reality, what you're doing, you are planting invisible seeds into an invisible soil. And when that soil gets the seed, it will be watered and it will be cultivated by the intangible power that moves all of humanity, and it will bring into your life the greatest harvest that is totally unimaginable. Money is the answer. I'll talk about that in a different teaching. And in order to achieve it, you don't have to kill yourself to get it. You don't have to work your fingers to the bones to get it. You must be smart. Develop and have the consciousness of money, the consciousness of prosperity, the consciousness of health, the consciousness of happiness, the consciousness of success, the consciousness of prosperity, the consciousness of joy, the consciousness of longevity. Too many individuals are not making up their minds in order to achieve the things that they desire to be, to do, and to have. Once you make up your mind and you set your goals, you're going to be able to achieve everything that you desire to be, to do, and to have. Yes, you can have it all, but you have to be willing to do what it takes in order to achieve it. Because if you're not willing to do what it takes to achieve it, you cannot have it. In the battlefield of life, in the battlefield for the mind, all things are going to occur in your mind before they translate into reality. Look around you. Look at everything in nature. Look at everything in your home. Look at everything in your apartment. Look at your entire car. Lift up the hood and look at all the different components beneath the roof of it. It came out of the mind of the designer. It came out of the mind of the one who created it. Everything architecturally develops in the mind before it becomes a living, breathing reality. The advantages of the habit of going the extra mile are definite and understandable. Remember that. The habit brings the individual to the favorable attention of those who can and will provide opportunities for self-advancement. Preparation meets opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to stop being lazy. Stop looking for something for nothing. There is no such thing as something for nothing. Anything that guarantees something for nothing is of a corruptible nature. It's of a corruptible thought. It's incepted in corruption. And usually it tends to lead to things that are not good and that are not nice. But if you make up in your mind, if you purpose within your own heart and soul, you will find out that the habit of going the extra mile above and beyond will translate into the greatest harvest that you could ever think of during your lifetime. This lesson will continue. Never surrender, never quit.